Right now at 6, a murder suspect accused of shooting at police. How the standoff that locked down a neighborhood ended.
We're grateful that no one was injured. This is a really dangerous situation.
Also tonight, waiting on winter.
It was like all sludge, like dirt. It was like literally like skiing in mud.
How local resorts are trying to get by with so little snow. And
I was like, that would be so cool to play for them someday.
From a young Winterhawks fan to a prospect between the pipes as a trailblazing female goalie hits the ice.
Good evening, everyone. And first at 6, new details on an hours-long police standoff that led to the arrest of a murder suspect. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. In Southeast Portland's Centennial neighborhood last night, first the sounds of gunfire followed by authorities telling neighbors to lock their doors and stay away from the windows as they work to get the suspect to surrender without anyone getting hurt. Ashley Grams has been following developments and joins us live now with an update. Ashley?
Well, David, I talked to a neighbor who watched everything unfold from across the street, and while she didn't want to go on camera, she did tell me it feels like shootings are becoming more and more common in the Centennial neighborhood. Boards cover the windows of an apartment near the intersection of 148th and Division in Southeast Portland. Neighbors say those windows were shot out during a police standoff Thursday night. Portland police say they got a tip that a murder suspect was spotted near 145th and Division.
When officers moved in to try to arrest him, he started firing shots at the officers.
Dozens of Portland police units responded, and the man barricaded himself inside an apartment,
where we have somebody who's actively trying to kill police officers.
Police tell us the man inside that apartment was 30-year-old Jesse Garza III, who was wanted in connection to the murder of Richard Newman on December 14th. Garza was also wanted on several other warrants.
Certainly, he's somebody that officers are well aware of in that neighborhood.
Portland police set up a perimeter and issued a shelter in place.
Terrifying situation for the officers involved, but we're concerned about the safety of the community with him firing shots in a neighborhood.
After a 4-hour-long standoff, Garza surrendered just after midnight and was arrested. Police say no one was hurt. The past few years, Garza has faced a slew of charges, and the Department of Corrections says Garza served time in prison from 2020 to 2022.
This is a very dangerous felon, and we're gratified that he's off the streets.
So why was Garza on the streets in the first place? Court records show he was able to post bail in November while facing charges for criminal conspiracy, possession of a stolen vehicle, and reckless driving. Again, Jesse Garza, the man who was arrested, is accused of shooting and killing another man in that same neighborhood back on December 14th. But police told me today it's likely he'll face more charges. David?
Ashley Grams reporting this evening. Thank you, Ashley. In tonight's headlines, Gresham police are investigating a deadly shooting in East Multnomah County. And around 10 p.m., there was a disturbance call from a market on Southeast Orient Drive and Anderson Road. That is where officers found someone who had been shot. They tried to save that person, but they died at the scene. Multnomah County's ban on flavored tobacco is now on hold. Today, the Oregon Court of Appeals issued a stay on that ban just 3 days before it was set to take effect. After a county judge ruled the ban could go forward, tobacco and vaping groups asked the Oregon court for an emergency pause on that order while they appealed. County leaders approved the ban a year ago and set it to start in 2024. In Washington, a new law to crack down on street racing is set to go into effect on New Year's Day. The law changes the definition of street racing and imposes harsher punishments. Previously, police could only write a ticket and have the car towed. Now police will be able to impound vehicles for 72 hours the first time and seize the vehicle permanently the second. Accomplices can also be charged. A similar law went into effect in Oregon in September, increasing fines and jail time for people convicted of street racing. The state of Oregon is making over $400 million available to some survivors of the 2020 Labor Day wildfires. Those fires ravaged more than 5,000 homes and structures, with many families still recovering. The federally funded program distributed by the state is meant for low to moderate income families. A longtime property and business owner in Detroit says the memory of her home and restaurant burned to the ground still lives with her.
It's something that never leaves you, but I hope that the people obviously believe in Detroit. We have so much growth going and so many people rebuilding, and they're beautiful homes. And you can't kill the lake community. It's a place that's close enough and just far enough away from town that people can come up and enjoy.
Those who already rebuilt their homes will also have a shot at the reimbursement. The state will start taking applications by the end of March. And lawsuits brought by Oregon vineyards and wineries seeking damages from the 2020 wildfires are now being allowed to proceed. Several Willamette Valley wineries claim Pacific Corp is responsible for the fires that blanketed the valley with smoke, and in turn is liable for the damage to their crops and their losses in wine sales. They include Willamette Valley Vineyards, Elk Cove, and Brigadoon. Pacific Corp refutes those allegations and sought to have the suits thrown out, but were unsuccessful in court. The company has already been ordered to pay more than $90 million to homeowners impacted by those fires, and Pacific Corp has settled out of court with homeowners and timber companies for more than $500 million. Additional lawsuits are still pending. Matt?
Boy, David, that video of the wildfire really makes you reminds us how much we need the rain in the Northwest. We're getting it right now, of course. 49 degrees, east winds, not too strong. The rain will continue tonight. It's just begun to move into the Portland area, and it will be with us as we go through the overnight hours and through much of the day on Saturday. And it's really going all the way up and down I-5 throughout western Oregon and Washington. There won't be a lot of snow from this system in the Cascades. The snow levels come down to about 5,000 feet, but this is mainly moving south to north. It's not a good direction for a storm to come and give us a bunch of mountain snow, which we could sorely use. We're at 38% of average at Timberline. Meadows, 17 inches, 34% compared to the 61 inches and 22% of average in the middle of December last year. Same story up in Washington as well. So we need the snow, and you know what? There may be some hope in the long-range forecast, but tomorrow, showers, dry for Sunday and New Year's Day, so a nice, easy transition weather-wise into 2024. And again, we may get some snow towards the end of next week. We'll show you that in a bit. David?
Yeah, we'll take hope. Thank you, Matt. New developments this evening in the deadly police shooting near Mall 205. Today, police identified the man shot and killed by officers as 33-year-old Tyrone Lee Johnson II. Kyle Lavoshi spoke with Johnson's mother and joins us live in the newsroom. Kyle.
The man's mother wants answers. Detectives met with her last night. They told her this would be a lengthy investigation. She planned to visit the morgue today to view her son's body. The family provided this photo of Tyrone Lee Johnson II. The medical examiner determined his cause of death, gunshot wounds. Surveillance video shows Johnson running through the Mall 205 parking lot Wednesday afternoon. Police say he'd been trying to shoplift from Target in southeast Portland and had a warrant for his arrest. Police say there was a confrontation and officers fired shots. Investigators say they located a black semi-automatic handgun next to Johnson's body. As a convicted felon, he couldn't legally have a firearm. Court records indicate Johnson has a criminal record dating back more than a decade, including convictions for burglary, assault, and robbery. In June, he'd been released from custody into a rehab program, but left 2 days later. His mother told me by phone, quote, "I come from a background of police and fire in my background. Never once would I think this would happen to my own child," end quote. As is typical with police shootings, there will be an internal review, and the case will go before a grand jury and the police review board.
Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate that update. You're watching KGW News and